This coronavirus pandemic really puts it in very clear focus why we need Medicare for all, why we need universal single-payer healthcare in this country more than ever. Just saw Goldman Sachs analyst projected that this last week 2.5 million people lost their jobs. If that holds up to scrutiny, that's the highest number of job loss for any week, I believe, in US history, including during the Great Depression. And a lot of those people had health care through their jobs. You get fired, you get laid off, you get your hours cut, boom, that health insurance goes away. And again, we're in the middle of a pandemic right now, so having health insurance tied to being employed is just really horrible. And again, the only person out there advocating every single chance he gets to make sure that everybody is covered by healthcare, so we don't have 68,000+ people dying each year, so we don't have 500+ K going bankrupt, so we save $450 billion a year, is Bernie Sanders. Donald Trump's not pushing for that. Joe Biden, he's not. He said he would veto Medicare for all if it somehow was able to pass the Congress and the Senate if he was president. I mean, come on, there is no choice if we're really concerned about making sure people have their basic needs met, and honestly just catching up to the rest of the industrialized world and guaranteeing that people have health care as a human right. And again, the US spends about double per capita on healthcare expenditures compared to all other industrialized countries, and yet we have, believe the stat that Bernie Sanders always puts out there, is 87 million people who either have no insurance or are underinsured, and that's with spending more than twice of these other developed countries, and we have these horrible health outcomes. Universal healthcare, again, saves money, saves lives. People won't be going bankrupt. People lose their jobs, they'll still be able to go see the doctor. It makes just sense on every level, and anybody telling you it's a pipe dream or it's going to be too expensive, more than likely they're either ignorant of the facts or they're bought and paid for by the pharmaceutical industry and the health insurance companies like Joe Biden. That's why his health plan leaves 10 million people uninsured. He's okay with people dying and going bankrupt. He just wants to become president. He doesn't really want to make the working people's lives better at all in the US. Bernie Sanders is, again, that only candidate. So, I mean, the choice is clear, and then we see that Biden is nowhere to be found right now. MIA, hiding Biden. Where is Joe during a freaking coronavirus pandemic? It's just disgusting. And again, if you voted for Joe Biden because you thought he was the quote-unquote electability candidate, where's he at? Where's your boy at? How come they put him back on the shelf during a freaking coronavirus pandemic? Is because the cognitive decline, the more he's out there in the public's eye, the more he has access to the press and journalists, the worse it looks for him. But again, you can't, if your candidate isn't able to go out there during a freaking coronavirus pandemic where 2.5 million people just lost their jobs, where 1 in 5 households has either been laid off or had their hours cut at work, when this thing is just spreading rapidly, you would think the Democratic frontrunner would be out there front and center each day, but he's not. Bernie Sanders is. Bernie is the only choice. People, get it through your heads, please. A lot rides on this election, and hiding Biden ain't gonna cut it. I'm sorry. Those are my thoughts. Share yours in the comment sections down below. Peace.